A cover, but no interview. Kat, this is so humiliating for Time magazine. They put Kamala Harris on its cover, did a fawning piece after she denied an interview and wouldn't even sit for a photo. They had to sketch her out like she was sitting on a chair in Times Square. Isn't that hysterical?
It's so crazy that they appear to just be using like the Biden model.
Yeah.
Totally. Which is what people kind of accepted it because they're like, look at the guy, like, can he sit for the interview physically, right?
Yeah.
Like there was like those issues.
Yes.
But they're just doing the same thing, even though she's, to my assumption, she seems to be able-bodied.
Right.
She walks around. She says words.
Yes.
I think it's very obvious she is not a candidate so much as a media manufactured vibe.
Exactly.
And I get if she's herself and she goes out, it'll ruin that vibe, right? So somebody like first dates are like so nerve-wracking because if you've been like talking on the app, you're like, when they meet me, it's gonna ruin it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want people just when they interview her to maybe just ask her a simple question. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that?
Yes.
A well-placed, what do you mean by that? We've been very strongly lacking, I think, in our interviews of these people for years and years.
You just struck upon a great way to derail a first date. It's just somebody, what do you mean by that would just destroy the date? What do you mean? Because you're always trying to stay in the first impression mode.
Yeah.
You want to stay as the unopened Christmas gift. You don't want to be opened up. Tyrus, do you remember when we were kids, being on the cover of Time was like an achievement?
What? You and me running the mean streets of San Francisco going, you get the time? You get the time? I've got it. I've got it. No, that never happened. Now, if it was Jugs, I'm with you.
Yes.
Thank you. I said this yesterday. Like, she did a picture with no interview. But I think we need to look at it in the more serious terms, is we need to say that Time is part of her campaign team.
Yeah.
And we need to realize that this is not journalism anymore. This is propaganda. They are pushing for her in broad daylight because President Trump, when he was on, he was a melted orange cartoon. They did everything they could to make him look silly or embarrass him. This one, they're trying so hard to get that Obama feel.
Yes.
But the problem is that Obama, whether you like him or not, you give him a microphone, he's going to show up and he's going to talk. And even if you're like, I can't stand him, but he's so polite. You know, like there's something about, he was a communicator, whether good, bad, or indifferent, he'd do it. The blueprint is there. They won with this. They got 81 million votes with this. So there's no reason for them to change this. She's not doing any interviews. She doesn't have to.
Yeah, they won't.
They just wait for Trump to do interviews and say he said this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then she'll respond and be like, send more money so we can stop his lies. And then it's November 6th before we know it.
Yeah, it's true. You know, Loftus, one way that you make money on the street is by sketching tourists. Does it bother you that they're actually doing that now here? It could be. It's funny.
I'm hoping to get some royalties off of that.
Yes.
Because I worked very hard to get the throat right. No, bigger. This is great for Time. Like more people are talking about Time magazine now than I think in recent history. They are going out of business, and they can't go fast enough because it's not journalism. It's like the back of somebody's yearbook.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Kamala, too cool, too ever, for love always. Like, isn't Trump a That's all it is.
Friends forever.
Right? Too
Friends
cool
forever.
to be forgotten.
Have an awesome summer. Can't wait to see ya.
That's what Time magazine is.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that like X and Twitter and these other platforms are thriving because it's more like the town crier.
Right.
The digital town crier. You find somebody who's like following the same stuff and they let you know what's going on.
It is amazing, too, Michelle, how obvious they do their bias. Like when Trump talked about taxing tips, they said getting rid of that. They said talked about how much it was going to cost.
Yeah.
And then when she does it, they don't.
Oh, it's brilliant. In fact, this is what's so funny about that. Trump says, I want to take the taxes off of tips, and then she does it. She full-on copied it. But let me just remind you of this little fact. On August 7th, 2022, Harris cast the tie-breaking vote to pass the Inflation Reduction Act. that provided $80 billion in additional funding to the IRS, which then got to work cracking down on the service industry's reporting of tips so that they could be taxed.
Exactly.
So she voted to tax the tips.
She's coming out against herself.
She is, but it's a total ripoff. And by the way, the teleprompter is right now is her basement. She's just reading what they write, and if she can keep that going, she can win this thing without ever doing an interview. That scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. Well, you got to act like you're losing, or you'll never win. I just came up with that. All right, coming up, why does a middle schooler pose all black clothes?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.